I'm feeling very vibey. I'm feeling very... It was 90 degrees today in Southern California, but it's still autumn outside. Hello. How are you? Welcome back to my channel. And by back, I mean welcome me back to my channel, because I posted one video. I dipped my little toes into the lake, the river, the ocean, the universe that is YouTube, and then didn't make a video for 10 months. And wow, 10 months is a long ass time. Anyways, we're in October. I'm not feeling great today. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. It's a very challenging time, okay? So what did I do today? I had the most beautiful, I'm not doing anything except for what makes me happy. And right now what makes me happy is my typical coping mechanisms. So we have a little bit of wine here. It's an orange wine. It's called miele, meaning honey in Spanish. It's an orange wine made with grapes. It tastes pretty good. It's nice. Anyways, that's not the important point. The important point is that I also have a pumpkin spice latte over here in this little can. And yes, I have been drinking both. So we know that I'm doing really well. So what I do to cope with days that aren't super great, and what I also do to self-soothe, is buy books. Last night, my body wasn't feeling great. I was like, I couldn't sleep, and so I was up until 4 a.m. as I normally I'm up until like 2, not usually 4. So this was kind of a late night for me, and the body hurt, so I was not in the mood. Anywho, I don't know if you guys are night owls or morning people. Let me know in the comments, because I am the most night owl. Like, my peak energy times are like as soon as it gets dark until 2 a.m. And I think it's because I work in the theater, and I think it's because I also went to school for theater, and that's just how it is. It be like that sometimes, or all the time. I don't know. Anywho, so what I did today was I bought some new books, and I would really like to share them with you because I'm excited about them, and there's a theme. And who doesn't love a theme? Right, Barbara? I don't know what's happening. That's where I'm at. So, I would love to share with you my books. I also want to show you my bookshelf as it stands right now. I want to do a giveaway. I am currently rehoming a couple of books, and I think there are some more on my shelves that I can pull off because I'm either not going to read them, or I'm not into them, or the cover art scares me a little bit, and it's like not the vibe that my sensitive little soul is going for right now. I would rather rehome them and give them to people who are going to like the book and like actually engage with it and participate in their reading process. And listen, I would also like some input. So let me know in the comments how you organize your books on your shelves. I'm looking up because I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. Let me know how you organize your shelves, because I would love to know, because those are one of my favorite kinds of videos on YouTube. I love seeing how people organize their shelves, but I also want it to be aesthetic. We'll get into it later. But let me know what your preferred methods are. I missed you guys, wow! And then I want to give some fall spooky-ooky recommendations / just talk about books that I'm going to be reading this fall, because it's already halfway through October. So let's go. Ding. I'm back. So, I probably should have shown you guys some really vibey, like, bookstore footage, but that time was for me. And I'm allowed to be selfish with it, okay? Because I said I was just gonna go in to let myself feel better, and then I walked out with 6 books. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know? So I want to tell you about these 6 books because I needed them. So the first one is this little copy. It was like $8, $6? I think this was a $6 copy. They had bigger ones, but I love a little tiny book. It makes me so happy. Like, I just got a paperback of another book the other day, and I have paperbacks by the same author, but they're published by different publishing houses. This one was published by someone new, and it's so much bigger than the other ones, and it makes me sad because I'm like, no, I just want you to be the same size as the other ones. Anywho, that was a side story. This is Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice, the spellbinding classic that started it all. And I've always wanted to read this. I love vampire stories. I know that Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise and Tilda fucking Swinton are in this. Also, the reference to Tilda Swinton is from a show that I saw at Edinburgh Fringe in 2018, and it is so funny. So funny. I highly recommend you Google it and look them up because that show was hilarious. Anywho, so I picked this up, and I would really like to read it this fall because it's a part of my little vibey collection. Next one that I picked up is this Penguin Classics copy of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I'm obsessed with this book. This one is the 1831 publication, or like version, 1831 edition, but it also marks where in the text shifts have happened, and from the 1818 original version that was published over 3 volumes, and so it is, I've already marked out because I've already started reading it because I'm already ready. This is a reread for me, by the way. It also has a preface from Percy Bysshe Shelley when he was still claiming that the book was his own, which was great. So there's a preface from Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley herself when she was publishing the 1831 edition. And then there's also the Lord Byron and the Polidori stories that were written during the same trip that Mary first came up with the story of Frankenstein. And so I was like, damn, that's the one for me. And I love how much content comes with it because also I am currently developing a project based on Frankenstein. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. But this is a reread for me. I read this during the 2020 lockdowns. I can't remember which one. We were locked down a bunch. But I read this during the lockdowns, and it really spoke to me. Like the way that creature, that Frankenstein's creature, I don't even want to say Frankenstein's, like just like creature in general, because the way that creature writes about the human condition and wanting to be loved and needing connection and striving for that sense of connection, and the way that this kind of normalcy of human society is also looking for that connection, but there are different acceptability levels, really spoke to me during the pandemic, and that's why I fell in love with the story. Also, the prose is gorgeous. I think I have a Scorpio moon. I don't know about you. Let me know if you have a Scorpio moon too, because honey, we're in it. We're in our feelings. It just really spoke to me, and I was like, oh God, like the writing in this is so beautiful. I will admit, the first time I read this, I listened to it on an audiobook, but I wanted to go back and be able to annotate the text and really get into it. So I will be rereading this. I've already started it. It's fantastic. Yes. The next book that I got is a recommendation from a YouTuber that I follow, Elizabeth Phillips, and she quotes from On Love by Alain de Botton quite a bit, and so I was like, ooh, I'm actually really interested in that. Let me go ahead and get it. I would love to read this and Bell Hooks is All About Love at the same time, and then I would also, you know, love to read The Course of Love, which is the follow-up to this, written 20 years later. But I think it would be interesting to read On Love and All About Love and do like a comparison series, or like see if anything adds up or kind of crosses over. One, because both are just like, both of my copies are in red, like here. But I also think these are two of like the most prolific thinkers on relationships and philosophy, and so I'd love to see that. Anyways, I picked this up because of Elizabeth Phillips, and I will be reading it. It's much smaller than I thought. And again, I'm just feeling a tiny paperback. It's the vibe. Okay, the next book that I picked up is the Satanic Verses from Salman Rushdie. Don't flag me, YouTube. Don't flag me. So I bought the Satanic Verses because I was like, I've never read this before. It looks cool. I know that a lot of people have a lot of feelings about this book, and the only book that I've read by Rushdie had, what was it called? My friend Brenda gave it to me, and it was beautiful. It had fish on the cover. What was it? I'll insert the title here because I cannot think of it, but I really appreciate his writing, so I would love to see how this pans out. I don't know if I'm going to get to this anytime soon. This might be like a New Year read. I really hope that he's doing okay, and my thoughts and prayers are with him, obviously. The next book that I got is The Heroine with 1001 Faces. This has been on my like list of books to buy for so long, and I happened to see a paperback copy because I'm just having a paperback moment. Let me live. And also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but at least in the United States, what with inflation and everything, typically a paperback is cheaper than the hardcover, but right now hardcovers are cheaper than paperbacks. At least online. But today I went into the bookstore and I saw this, and in the bookstore it made more sense. And in the bookstore, the paperbacks were less expensive, but I was like, what is that? Like, is it a supply chain issue? Like, if you buy a book online from the distributor rather than from a small bookstore, like, does it cost more to make a paperback? I don't know. And then that got me really curious. Maybe Bailey Sarian will make a video about why that is. Anywho, I saw this. It's been on my list forever. It is by Maria Tatar. She reveals an astonishing, long-buried history of heroines, taking us from Cassandra to Scheherazade to Nancy Drew to Wonder Woman. On the cover it says, a major revision of our understanding of the representation of women in mythology and storytelling. I'm fascinated with women always, and because, you know, this body I live in, what is it? What does that mean to be a woman? That was probably too much, but I'm very excited for this, and I love me some nonfiction, but I also love me some fiction. And this channel is the Romantic Academic, so we will be getting into this and discussing this a bit more.